How Our Students Learn Best. Suggestions for Future Teachers by Alex Swagler, Cameron Yarbrough, Molly Schroder, and Shelby Goodman. For our question of the day, we are asking, what kind of teaching style works best for you? This is just to get you thinking about what we are going to be teaching during the lesson.
Throughout school, I have taken different learning style tests. The majority of them identify me as a visual or tactile learner. I've experimented with studying in the ways that I learn best. Turns out the quizzes that I took were correct. These are not the only ways I study. Just because I consider myself a tactile learner doesn't mean I can't study any other way. But for me, I retain information best when I make Quizlets, take frequent mental breaks, create flashcards, relate the material to something in my life, or give it another meaning of some way to remember it. I simply take as many notes as I can, sometimes on knowledge that I already have mastered already. Everyone studies differently. Some methods work for others that may not work for me at all. In this lesson, you will learn more about yourself, how you study best, why this theory may be a myth, and different suggestions on ways to accommodate students. Learning and understanding more about yourself will help to also learn and understand more about your students.
The learning objectives we are using in this lesson is that instead of students, teachers will be able to clarify each student's learning style in the lesson and investigate how each student learns best, assess all types of students regardless of different learning styles, and identify challenges or barriers in their students' learning and incorporate a solution into their lesson.
We will be taking a Kahoot for your pre-assessment. The first question is, what type of learning style do you think you identify as? All are correct. All are learning styles, but this is an opinion question. Question number 2. Visual learners most successfully learn from which of these? The 2 correct answers are pictures and videos. Number 3, why is it important for teachers to figure out what type of learning style fits their students best? All answers are correct. Number 4, if you are an auditory learner, you learn best by hearing and listening. Question number 5. If you are a technical learner, how might you prefer activities and lessons in class? The correct answer is hands-on.
There is a popular theory that presents the concept that there are different styles of learning. This theory is the idea that entails people learn in different ways, such as relying on one sense more than others, or paying attention to one aspect over a lesson more than the others. The theory presents the idea that there are up to 8 separate learning styles. However, today we will only be talking about the top 3 that people favor. Many think that the theory is a myth and debunked, specifically by some psychologists, and everyone learns in the same fashion, or at least similarly. However, many teachers still practice the idea of learning styles, as teachers have seen an improvement in academic performance when paying attention to each student's learning styles and accommodating for them. Please watch this short video in regards to the learning styles that we will be discussing later in the lesson.
Here's Jonathan studying for a test. And studying, and studying, and studying. And here he is getting his test results. All that studying and he still got an F. Why? The thing is, there's no one right way to study. Some methods might work great for one person and not at all for others. Everybody learns differently. In order to find a study method that's best for you, it's important to know your learning style. The 4 most popular learning styles are visual, auditory, reading, writing, and kinesthetic, or hands-on. For most people, one of these methods will work best, but it's also possible for a combination of different styles to be effective. To discover your learning style, you can complete an online assessment. There's a wide variety of them available, consisting of multiple choice questions. However, you can also observe yourself and your previous learning experiences to get an idea of how you learn best. Let's circle back to Jonathan. When he's in class and his teacher is lecturing, he gets distracted pretty easily. Words tend to go in one ear and out the other. But when his teacher starts using visuals, Jonathan finds it easier to focus and understand the material. So he might be a visual learner. Now think about your history. How have you enjoyed learning in the past? Do you prefer watching over listening? Do you enjoy reading instead? Or maybe you learn best by doing, with hands-on experience. If none of these seem to grab you, give them each a try and see which one you tend to drift towards. Each learning style has its own study methods that work best with it. Let's take a look at how Jonathan and a few of his classmates study. As a visual learner, Jonathan finds it helpful to color code his notes. He finds it helps him to organize information and internalize it better. He also creates diagrams while studying, finding that they help him to better understand certain structures and ideas. Jonathan watches videos too, finding them helpful for extra information. Ruby is more of an auditory learner. She likes to study in a group and discuss the material with others. Sometimes she'll read her notes out loud because it helps her to hear what she's studying. In some classes, Ruby will record the lecture, with her teacher's permission, of course, so that she can go back and listen to it later. Terrell finds that he learns best by reading and writing. He takes substantial notes during class and reads over them often. When he's trying to memorize something, he'll often write it out. He also makes sure to read and reread any materials his teacher has assigned the class. Raya is a kinesthetic learner. She's got a lot of energy and likes doing things. Labs and hands-on activities help her to understand certain ideas and topics. Sometimes she'll review her material while she's walking around. She also likes to take breaks in order to release some of her energy, allowing her to focus when she returns to studying. All 4 of these students are studying the same material, but they're doing so in different ways. Now, this doesn't guarantee that they'll all get the same grades, but by determining their learning style and finding study methods that work for them, they just might find themselves getting better results.
GCF Global, creating opportunities for a better life.